To decline this call, hang up.
Mr. Brown.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You caught me in the car, and but we're ready to go. And if you wanted to make a statement about anything, you got the floor, and we're praying that the DiMaia decision will get you out of prison sooner than later.
Well, between that, the DiMaia decision will most definitely remove the large part of the case, or I should say, of the sentencing, of the sentence. So they'll probably pull away probably some 300 and something months.
Okay.
So there'll be a remainder of probably about 5 years, but that's not acceptable. As a private individual, as a private man of the soil of the United States, an American national, I have already filed a case in the court just 2 weeks ago. I did not file a case. I submitted the, good Lord, my mind went blank. Ecclesiastical deed was submitted to the court on the back of one of their documents. With that submitted, they then turned around and then I had somebody go in there with another set of the paperwork and have it make sure that they stamp it, file it, date it, and get it back to me, which she did. They then followed up with this week a letter giving me a case number for a new trial, for a new case, which is challenging the jurisdiction, my political status and jurisdiction. I've let them know that I am a private, sovereign American national. I am not a U.S. citizen, and they are in error. So please correct the paperwork as to who I am under that ecclesiastical deed and get back to me. Well, they got back to me with a new case. Well, I didn't want a new case. I'm not even going to accept this one because they immediately are showing me deceit by giving me a United States District Court case. I can't go to a United States District Court because that's a bogus administrative court for the bankruptcy, and with the United States being under bankruptcy, they have no business even adjudicating in these cases at all. That's a fact of law. So they're going to argue with it, let them argue. So I can only go into court with the common law court, which is a district court of the United States. In lowercase letters, district court, uppercase D, uppercase United, and uppercase S for United States. So your district court is lowercase.
This call is from a federal prison.
That is your Article 3 court. And everybody needs to know that and understand it and study it a little bit because it's going to come up for everybody. Just like the ecclesiastical deed poll, and they're claiming their proper political status is going to come up for every single American in this country, man, woman, and child that was born in this country. They're going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to know it and understand it. And they have to do it. Otherwise, not the government, but the corporation. There is no government as we know. There's only a corporation that was created most recently in 1970. It was the last time. 1970, 1930, 1891. 1891, yeah. Anyway, the DiMaia case is going to get a lot of people released if they don't get bogus on what the Supreme Court has just done. I would estimate somewhere around 25% of all the prisoners in the federal system alone should be released. That's about 50,000 people. So let's see what happens there. The Johnson case would have done the same thing, but the liberals came in and Obama messed that all up, and a few people did go home. Some, maybe 7,000 or 8,000 people went home, and then they stopped it, and the rest of the people had to stay and wait for the DiMaia case, and that's what we've been doing for the last couple of years, waiting for the DiMaia case. Well, here we go. Let's see what happens with that. Anything going on your way?
Well, we're going to be going to, with some friends of ours, going to Waco. It's the 25th anniversary of the 1993 Waco massacre, and so we're going to be going and, supporting that event to remember what the FBI and our U.S. corporation did to those innocent people. That we don't believe they should have treated them in the way that they should have treated them.
Well, they flat out murdered them.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
There's no doubt there.
But, Daniel, I've been speaking to Daniel Riley and Jason Gerhardt, and they believe they're going to be released in the next 90 days after 10 years in prison. So we're praying that you know, regardless of you know, I don't claim to understand all the details as you do, but if it results in your freedom, where you can, you know, have your physical freedom again without any compromising your principles, that would be such a blessing to be able to see that happen.
If they would, but they won't, because the court is not. They're not going to let go of their corruption and what they're doing. I mean, they're so well entrenched, and they still think that they can win this thing in the end, and they're not going to, because they've already all been identified, and every day we see more and more people and identify more and more people for conducting corruption within the governmental structure, which is nothing more today than a corporation.
Right.
Well, the corporation has to end. I have the list, as a matter of fact. I'm going to submit it to you of how that works from the various plantation from 1791 up until today, and how the different governments and corporations got started, where they got started, and what caused it, who's behind it. And the ones that are behind it, again, I repeat to everybody, the ultimate enemy of the United States of America and the world is the Vatican. They are the smartest, been around the longest, and doing this for a very long time. Now, I'm not talking about the entire Catholic religion, the spiritual belief system. I'm talking about the papacy, the popes themselves. They are basically all throughout history. You can read it, you can find it. They are Khazarian, Khazar, Zionist, adopted in Turkey. They adopted the Talmud, not the Torah of the Jews. They adopted the Talmud, and they had opened up synagogues and stuff all throughout Europe and everything. And they are also then became the Knights Templar through the Vatican. And that's the connection and tie-in. And when you tie that in, then you tie in the Bank of England, you tie in the World Bank, and we understand, then you tie in, of course, the Crown Templar of England, which is actually the lieutenants for all of this thing globally. And those lieutenants globally happen to be Jesuits, what they are called the Crown Temple of the Knights Templar. And the Crown and the Jesuits themselves, everybody knows where they are, all over the place. And for hundreds and hundreds of years, they've been out there doing these little scribing this, scribing that, whispering in the ears of kings and stuff, and threatening and murdering and as assassins. All you've got to do is read their oath. Read the ancient Jesuit oath under Ignatius Loyola. My God, when you read that, you're going to know the truth right there. It says it all in there, what they intend to do, and they are doing it.
Yeah.
They are assassins, they are murderers, there's no more secrets anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are, who everybody thinks they are. We all know the truth at this time.
No, amen.
So we've got to move forward.
Amen. I was going to ask you about the expatriation, but I want to make sure you have time to cover whatever you want to cover. But regarding the expatriation, given that you have a pretty high notoriety status, I mean, a lot of people know about your case, they know about you. Do you think they're going to let you successfully expatriate, and instead of like maybe trying to block you from doing that, or do you think you feel pretty good about your efforts to do that? And then also, is there anything people can...
Who are they? Who are they? You mean the Jesuits? I mean, they are the Jesuits. That's who's behind all of this. That's who tried to kill me 8 times since I've been in prison. There's no question about that.
Right.
It was orders that came down out of D.C. directly. I was told that by two separate DHO officers. It is because you PO'd off a lot of people, Mr. Brown, in D.C. As the only people in D.C. that could be PO'd off of me would be the Jesuits.
Yeah.
And they just kind of look at me, because there's no question about Freemasonry's involvement. That means the Jesuits. Out of all the organizations of Freemasonry, the Scottish Rite, York Rite, and the Jesuits, top of the heap are the Crown Templar of the Vatican. That's it, the Holy See. There's nobody else in the whole wide world. That's it. This is your Rothschild. This is your Rasputin. This is your Genghis Khan. All these people, all tied into the Vatican. Yeah. So I mean, all that's coming out. So maybe this Pope Francis is the last pope that they were always all talking about. Maybe he is, because the rest of them should either correct the error of their ways or straighten out their own mess in the Vatican. And check out, by the way, I want everyone to check out the Medici family in Italy, in Venice, Italy. Bankers, ancient, Jewish, rabbinical.
Do you recall how to spell that? Medici?
Mettichi.
Okay.
Medici.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, No, that went out of my head just like that.
Well, no problem. I was gonna ask you if people can help fund your expatriation, because I think that's an incredible thing you're doing, and it may be a solution for people that are trying to. Yep.
Yes, I do need the assistance. There's no question. I need about $300 to $400 to go through this more quickly. The sooner I get out of here, the better it's going to be for all of us.
Okay.
Why? Because one of the major things I'm going to open up here in this country is going to be an embassy in all 50 states, one in each 50 of the 50 states. I'm not concerned with the money after I'm out of here, and everybody will be reimbursed. We'll be reimbursed for any help that they can give me. And my wife and I have always been very generous and reciprocal people. That's the nature of us. So no one's going to lose a dime. It's an investment in the future for sure. But I can't get it in here, and right now, people are like confused. They think I've got all this kinds of help and money. No, I don't.
Right.
I really don't. I mean, it's just incredible what's happening.
Yeah, I understand, and I you know, it's absolutely terrible that all four of you guys have spent 10 years in prison. You know, I don't think there's no victim in any of the cases. It's absolutely just a travesty of justice, and it's going to be such a blessing, you know, Ed, to see you guys out of prison, if indeed that does happen. And I pray that people do step up and help you with, you know, the funds needed for the expatriation process. And we look forward to the day when you walk out of that prison and with your head held high, and you have not compromised one bit. I really give glory to God with the day that happens.
But more than that, Rudy, the work then really begins now. Okay, the awakening has begun. We've been waiting for this awakening for a long time. I'm just one small part of it, because it is worldwide. The computer is really helping out tremendously, and very soon now, I think they're going to see something more enlightening than they could think possible, because there are some things that we can't even talk about even on here. As much as I would love to, I will when I hit the streets. And a lot of people will come out of the woodwork once I hit the streets. A lot of people will come out of the woodwork.
Amen. Well, we look forward to that day.
Huh?
I said, we look forward to that day. I said, it's going to be a huge blessing to talk to you on a phone that's not recorded through a satanic prison monitoring recording system.
But you know something? I'm glad they are recording, because I want them to hear this. Most of these people that are doing this and doing this stuff are truly Americans. There's some of them that aren't. A lot of these people work for the Freemasons, work for the Jesuits and the government out of D.C. We understand that. We see who they are. But a lot of these people here throughout the system that I've been in for the last 10 years that are COs, BOP, and middle management are really good people, but they're confused. They don't know what's going on, and they are conditioned to Hegelian dialectic and double...
This call is from a federal prison.
And double speak and training and so on, how not to respond to inmates. Don't listen to them inmates. Hey, yeah, don't listen to us who happen to have the information and the correct model for a society to operate under. Let's go listen to the communists, and let's go listen to the Nazis and all the other stuff that these Jesuits have put together over the last 1,000+ years. I'm sorry, I know. Well, not 1,000 years for the Jesuits, but for the Vatican. So it's so close now, Rudy. It's unbelievable. I want everyone to anyone and everyone that wants to know what's going on with the expatriation to contact Anna Von Reitz. She's public. She's known. She's not breaking the law, and anything that she's putting up for information is absolutely lawful, absolutely above board, and the most direct way to do what you have to do. And you know something? I repeat to everybody again, every single American will have to expiate from the corporation of the United States, which is owned by, it's called the United States, Inc. It's owned by the Vatican. And the United States of America, Incorporated, organization, is owned by the Crown Temple out of England under the old territorial United States of America. Oops.
Yeah.
Gee, the jig is up, folks. We all know. So here we go.
Ed, I think God has saved your life through multiple assassination attempts for a reason, and we're looking forward to you being out of that hellhole and you know, having your full voice back again. I pray to God that happens sooner than later.
So do I. Ready to talk to you soon.
God bless you, Ed.
Sure.
Bye-bye.